Let's do a quick sound check, guys. What's happening here? 360. Sync that. Come on. Give me 1 second, guys. Just trying to sync up a couple of things. All right, so we are just waiting on this. Okay, so just kind of keeping an eye on the chat there, just with a whole lot of questions popping up. With the derived grade exam, guys, what's happening is, I'm just trying to see, is my screen actually refreshed? What's the timestamp? There's something up with my video at the moment. What's the delay? Bloody hell, it's a long delay. Okay, so guys, let's kind of get started with the work today. Just kind of keeping an eye on a couple of things. It's running a little bit slow at the moment, my machine. Just gonna do a quick test and then we'll get started, all right? So what's the timestamp here? 7. Sorry, I'm just trying to see how much lag that there is at the moment, because there are some issues just in my end. Wow, that's a lot of lag. — 16-second lag. Oh, bugger. Let's try this again. All right, look, we're going to get started with today's session. And so I'm just going to, I know a few people have kind of joined in. Basically, the questions that we're going to be working on today is something like these types of questions here. So this is what we're going to focus on today. So something along the lines of where you have, sorry, I'm just going to make this questions up at the moment. It might not be right, but this is just the idea behind it. So we're going to focus a little bit on these types of questions today. Now, I know I kind of caught up with a few of the comments there. So just to give you guys a bit of a heads up with the practice exams and the mock exams and so on, I don't actually teach NCEA level 1 anymore. So I have got no idea what your questions are going to be about. So I really can't answer questions without actually having a look at what the questions are now. So in saying that, even if I do get the paper, copyright issues mean that I can't actually do the papers like how I do for the NZQA versions. So what I have said to people is that if you guys do have questions, you can always screenshot or take a picture and just send me those individual questions, and then I'm quite happy to do it during a tutorial. I kind of missed the comments there with the MCAT. I think it is next week for everybody. It's 15th September or 17th of September. So it is what it is. Sorry, Harry, I haven't actually opened it yet. Pretty busy day at school. So guys, these are the types of questions we're going to be working on today. And what I will do is I'll teach you guys a couple of little neat tricks with it, so that when you do see questions like this, you don't end up making silly mistakes. The problem though is it looks like my other software that I use is currently down. So just give me a second. I just need to find the questions and we'll actually start going through them fairly quickly. Now tomorrow we're going to be spending time on, not tomorrow, on Wednesday, we're going to be spending a little bit more time on some of those simultaneous equation questions, which particularly with the graphs version of those questions. All right, cool. So without further ado, we will actually get started with this question. Now, as I said to you guys before, if you already know how to do this question, this is what we're going to be covering today. But also I just realized I forgot to do yesterday's question that we kind of said that we're going to kind of go through today with it. So as promised, I'll actually go through this question from yesterday and then we'll go through today's work. All right, one other thing, major thing, guys, that I need to ask you guys is if you could keep the chat to a minimum, just because it just makes it a bit more challenging for me to actually answer questions if I do see them. Otherwise, what happens is I can't really get to anybody's questions and it makes it really challenging. So if you could keep the chat quiet, I would really appreciate it, and just keep it just for questions. Okay, so this was the question we were looking at yesterday. So I'm gonna kind of go through this. Our first step is to get rid of the 64, and we're gonna rewrite this as 2 to the power of something. So this is gonna be 2 to the power of 6. Now, the next thing after that is, because we have the 2 bases that are the same here, we can subtract the powers. So this is going to become 2 of x squared minus x is less than or equal to 2 to the power of 6. All right. So once again, what we have to do is now at this point, because we actually have got 2 as this basis, so we can actually see that the base is the same, which means we can get rid of the base and just leave the powers as it is. So we're going to rewrite this as x squared minus x less than or equal to 6. Now, at this point, we're going to rearrange the 6 to the left-hand side. So it's going to become minus 6. And this is less than or equal to 0. So at this point, we can actually factorize. Yeah, it is a huge delay. I can see that, but I don't know. I think it's just my machine is struggling at the moment. It is a 5-year-old tablet that I'm using, and I'm hopefully, I've got a competition that I've entered on Wednesday. Hopefully I can pick it up. I'll get a new tablet, but we'll see. So anyway, at this point, we're going to factorize both of these quadratics. So we're going to factorize this to x minus 3 and x plus 2. And this is all still less than or equal to 0. And of course, our 2 solutions are going to be positive 3 and minus 2. All right. So once we have those 2 values, remember that this is a quadratic. So this is a quadratic. It's going to look like this. And we also know this is where the line is equal to 0. And we're looking for less than or equal to 0. So the zone we're going to be looking at is this part of the parabola. And I think I remember I talked to you guys yesterday about this. So if it's like one zone, then you're going to get the 2 values and they're going to be between that. So the answer I was actually looking for in this particular question is that x is actually between -2 and +3. But here's the kicker. The kicker is this. We actually had less than or equal to. Because of that, we need to actually make sure we write that less than or equal to in the answer as well. So, okay, so let's have a look. How do we know if it's a quadratic, Charlotte? Oh, sorry, Charlotte, this question we were kind of like working on yesterday, and it just follows on the whole bunch of inequalities that we did yesterday. With the, Amy, why are you subtracting, not dividing the exponents? Just remember that when you have a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n, this could be written as a to the power of m minus n. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to really quickly, I'm going to put some lines here. So if you guys have any questions with particular lines, you could ask me. I'll actually move this as 8 and this part here is 7. Now I do understand there's a bit of a huge lag at the moment. I can actually see it. I don't know why it's buffering, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure why this is happening. It's not happened before, but it is. Thanks, Jeff. I'll try that. When do you put the and or in inequality? Eric, remember that yesterday we were talking about it. So when you actually have that with 2 zones, remember? So this was what we were talking about yesterday. So when it's actually two zones, we will actually write it between. Yeah, my laptop is really running slow. Can't even load what I did yesterday. What do I do here? Yeah, this question E here would definitely be an excellence, guys. Definitely be an excellence. All right, so now we're back to good now. I think it's starting to pick up. Just going to refresh it just to see if it's still buffering. All right, in part 2, how do you know whether to add line 2, whether you know to add or subtract the component? Georgia, I think what you're talking about, whether you're adding or subtracting, that's when you're dealing with bases that have powers and you're dividing it. So when you're dividing like bases that are the same with powers, you subtract the powers, and then when you're multiplying it, you actually add the powers. Yeah, Cheyenne, it's not as simple, man. Like, you know, teacher's salary, you don't really get much. So this is like an old tablet I'm using at the moment. Storm Buddy, this is something we talked about in yesterday's tutorial. I hope it can load up right now. Actually, it wasn't even there. The better one is from a few tutorials back. So if you guys go into, I think it was tutorial number 4 in this series. So I did a tutorial, this is number 9. If you guys go to tutorial number 4, I did more questions like this. So you guys can actually have a look at when you're going to have two zones. So see how it is like two zones is colored in two different, the right side is actually two zones and the left side here is one zone. So that's basically it. Eric, yeah, I'm actually using a Surface Pro 2, I believe. Now they've got the 7 out at the moment. Okay, so let's actually get to this question here. So these are the kind of questions that I want to be having a look at today. And the reason I want to have a look at this question is because it is actually not a bad merit question that you can actually do. All right, Cheyenne, I explained it quite well in tutorial number 4. So go have a look at it. All right. Okay, so we're going to get started with this question here. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see people do in these types of questions is they look at x squared and x squared and they cancel it straight away. Now, if you're one of those people that actually did that, then this is actually incorrect. All right. So what you kind of need to do is you kind of need to factorize the numerator and you need to factorize the denominator. So to get started, we're going to do some real simple questions first, and then we're going to come to this question around we'll come to around 8 o'clock, and so we'll actually get to that question at that point. So we're going to start throwing some simple quadratic fractions for you guys, so you guys can actually mess around with it. So I'll do one for you guys so that you kind of get an idea of it. So here's my first question that I want to show you guys. So again, as I said, most people tend to kind of do this. They kind of go x squared, canceling it out. And then you don't really want to do that. Okay, what you need to do is you need to factorize the numerator and you also need to factorize the denominator. So when you factorize the numerator, in this case, you're looking for two numbers that multiply to 12 and add up to 7. So you got x plus 4 and x plus 3. Now, here's the little hint I'm going to give you guys, all right? When you do these types of questions, it is 100% guaranteed that one of these brackets is going to actually cancel out from the denominator, all right? So, oh, no, Yeet, we're doing a different question. I'll come back to the question later on, all right? I'm just doing a slightly different question at the moment. Yeah, it's strange what's happening today with my tablet. I should have actually restarted it before I started, but that's all right. So then we've got x squared minus 9, which you can factorize to x minus 3 and x plus 3. So at this point, we can see that x plus 3 and x plus 3 is a common factor. You cancel them out, and what you have left over is x plus 4 over x minus 3. All right, so this is basic idea behind these types of quadratic fractions. You got to factorize both sides and then you simplify it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a couple of questions to kind of work on, and then we'll go to some more challenging questions after that. Let's see. Well, to be honest, they're called simplifying rational expressions by factorizing. That's the long way of saying it, but I just call it quadratic. What is it? Quadratic fractions, simplifying quadratic fractions. All right, so doing some quite simple ones for you guys to start off with, and then we'll get going on to some more complicated ones soon. So they should be fairly straightforward to start with, guys, as I said. Yeah, I'm not sure what would happen if I restart my computer. Does the stream actually end, or does it actually get blocked off? How bad is the lag at the moment? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put up these questions, and if you guys have a look at it, you guys try it out, and then I'll try and restart the machine so we can see how it is. So I'll actually leave this other question there for you guys to try and do as well. But I'll still be on chat, so I'll still can help you guys out, but I'm going to try and restart this. But how would it happen if it ends? Can I restart it, stream it back to that? Yeah, I'll leave these questions up here, and I'm going to restart the stream, and if it does kind of drop off, I'll try and start another one again. So just give it a go. That means it would end here. Ooh, I don't want to do that. Don't want to update it right now. Can't I just plumb and restart this machine without updating it? All right, I'll be back, guys. Give me about 5 minutes. How are we doing for sound? Much better. Cool. All right, we're back, guys. Apologies about that. When you have an old machine, you've got to kind of rearrange things a bit. Yeah, so these are the questions that we're working on. Factorize C's denominator. Whoa, I made a mistake with C. Sorry about it. I just realized that. See, that's a huge mistake there. That's all right. Small bunch of people. That means, yeah, question C was a mistake, guys. I think I was kind of doing two things at the same time. All right, that's fine. Let's actually go through the remaining part of this question here. So with, sorry, Jaden, I made a mistake with that. So what we have is with B, we're going to factorize that straight away as x plus 6 and x plus 2. And as for the denominator, we've got 2 times x plus 2. Yeah, sorry about C. I kind of made a mistake as I was trying to rearrange things with my computer. So cancel the 2x plus 2's, and what you have is x plus 6 over 2. All right, so next question, with question C, we should be, yeah, sorry, I changed question C at the moment. You guys can see the screen, right? Or is it just me looking at it? Try refreshing it, Turbo, because I had some issues with some connection problems. Okay, so going to question C. Question C is what we've got is we're going to factorize again. So we've got x minus 5 and x plus 4 divided by. Now we got to get rid of that 50, and so I do apologize about that because I kind of was doing that question very quickly and I forgot to write it down properly. So in the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to factorize the denominator. And so what we're going to end up with is we're going to end up with x minus 5, x plus 5, and of course we're going to cancel our 2x minus 5's. So we're left with just x plus 4 over 2x 5, like that. Don't worry, man on a mission. I will throw some things for you soon. And then we've got question D. So question D is we've got 3x squared minus 27, and it's over x squared plus 7x plus 12, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 3 out. So we're going to get x squared minus 9, and that's over x plus 4 and x plus 3. And as I said to you guys, like one of the factors in the numerator is going to be kind of x plus 3. So we can write this as x plus 3 and x minus 3 divided by x plus 4 and x plus 3. So at this point I'm going to cancel out the 2x plus 3's, and what we have is 3x minus 3 over x plus 4. Okay, this is interesting. So just double checking, you guys can actually see the stream coming up. Because I can see it here, it's really weird. Huh, that's really weird. How many of you guys can actually see the stream? It's really weird because okay, let me just try something else. Let me try restarting it.